Hello again, everybody, and welcome to another Community Connections with Ryan Sauers. I am super excited. I have my friend and colleague, Koach Katlyn, as she's known, on the show. Koach Katlyn, I love the K and the Katlyn and the hat today you're docking. How you doing, my friend?
Thanks. I'm doing great. How are you?
I'm doing well, doing well. So, Koach Katlyn, I'm a marketing guy at heart, so I've just loved the branding you've done, and I know you have so many outlets of your own. But I'm super glad we could carve out the time to bring you on this show, introduce you possibly to new markets. And so, with that being said, why don't we for people who don't know you, you introduce yourself to our audience?
Well, thank you for having me on. It's an honor to be here. So I'm Koach Katlyn. I'm first and foremost a wife and a mom. My favorite role, I have married my college sweetheart and have a 10-month-old son. So he keeps me busy for sure. I am also a leadership coach, a speaker. I speak at a lot of women's conferences and motivational events. I have my own show, the Koach Katlyn Show. It airs on 3 networks right now. You can catch it on YouTube by subscribing to the Koach Katlyn YouTube channel. You can catch me a lot on WATC, which is the Atlanta area's largest faith-based network. And so I'm on there a lot, hosting, being a part of great events they're doing there. I'm a 2-time author, Habits Not Hopes, Slay and Pray. I have my coaching business, of course, my speaking business, and I love doing ministry with my husband. And so that keeps me busy.
Well, it was funny. I was looking at your bio. If you have is it a master's or undergrad, something in organizational leadership or development?
Yes. So I have a master's degree in organizational leadership, and I am certified through the John Maxwell team as a certified speaker, trainer, and coach. And for those of you who don't know who John Maxwell is historically, he is has written the most on leadership in the history of the world. So I have a great opportunity to not only be on his team through the John Maxwell team to do leadership, but I also have the incredible opportunity to work with our churches through his nonprofit, Equip, which trains leaders around the world, adds values through the Change the World tables around the world. And so it's such an honor to just be connected to him.
Yeah, it was cool. I'll just give you this. So I was looking at all your leadership and speaking, because that's some of it's very common background for us. But I am, on a personal note, as my audience knows, is I'm in my dissertation stage of my doctorate in leadership. So
awesome. From where?
Right now I'm working. I was at Indiana Wesleyan, and then I'm working at UGA's campus of Valdosta State, because I was at 5 years. I'd paused it, and then it became an opportunity where they would take my credits. And finally, I got to finish the last drill, and then you can be doctor, whatever. But I'm a big John Maxwell fan. Awesome. I've read so many of his books. So, all that stuff is fantastic. And, with the faith component, that's where I come from. So it's 100% spot on leadership, And so anyway, I just share that because it's been such a journey off and on for 9 years. But I got to finish the drill and get up the final mountain, But it'll all be worth it. I know. I'm seeing dents in the mountain of getting there, But so now you were talking. You've written 2 books. I know that's a labor of love, because I've written 2 books. I haven't done one in a while. Because now tell people about that, because everybody I'm sure asks you, how hard is it to write a book or whatever, and that's a labor of love, right?
It's definitely a labor of love. It's a labor of love. And it's you think that, writers are so passionate, and you are passionate about your topic, but oftentimes it is more discipline than it is passion to get it done. I'm very methodical in my writing, very outline, get it done. But I will say, I have Habits Not Hopes, which I worked on, and I finished writing in a week.
Wow.
And then I have Slay and Pray, which is a devotional for women. And that took me 5 months to write. So it's back and forth.
Well, so I maybe need you to coach me up on finishing this dissertation, because I was asking somebody the other day, they're like, write a little bit every day. When I didn't do it that way, and hence a book took me longer than that, each book. But once I'm done with this, I have an idea for a 3rd book, but that's out there. But good for you. That's 2 books is just such an accomplishment. And now tell me about the show. Now you host, is the Koach Katlyn Show, correct?
Correct. Yes. So I am a regular host on Atlanta Live,
Okay.
and a former co-host of the Christian View, and just felt led, the network there, WATC, was really like, you could do an awesome show. And so I really wanted to do a platform where not only, sometimes people aren't able to be coached one-on-one. It's not a luxury they can afford or something they feel led to invest in. And not everybody has women's conferences in their community. So I wanted to bring something through media that was able to minister to people and encourage people. So the Koach Katlyn Show launched on August 5th of this year.
Oh, wow.
And it's just a really great show that we focus on the areas of life, love, and leadership. And through the show, there are some where I am doing a one-on-one coaching session. So they're 30 minutes, but I'm coaching you like I was sitting down having a cup of coffee with you, coaching you through finding your life purpose or leadership, or how to discover your purpose. So different things like that. And then I'll discuss different things. I have expert guest co-hosts who will come on. We'll discuss topics. We've discussed topics of dating. We've discussed topics of marriage. We've discussed topics of building strong families, of overcoming. One of the shows recently that was just so powerful, I was talking with a lady I know who's a former, she was a teen mom, and now she is an amazingly successful entrepreneur, and her daughter, who she had when she was a teenager, is at dental school at Howard University.
Wow.
And so we talked about from statistic to success. So it's very encouraging. It's on 9 a.m. on every Thursday. It airs 9 a.m. on WATC, 11 a.m. on the Life Network for Women app. You can download the Life Network for Women app for free, and then at 7 p.m. on the Koach Katlyn YouTube channel.
Yeah, and we'll get all that out. Like when we send it out, we'll recap it. I'll probably make sure I got all the links right. But that's really great, Katlyn, with putting that kind of show out there, because people need that. I launched this particular show very first days of the pandemic, which now 20 months ago. I mean, it's crazy but it was really designed because I had a different show as well that we had shut down in studio on marketing. And it was like bringing people together, bringing leaders together, giving people inspiration, encouragement, insight, sort of like what you were saying. So that was the idea. I'd seen your show and I was very impressed and I enjoyed it.
Thank you.
Yeah. And I was like, we need to have her on. And, with this show will go to other people, though, my goal is to get them to subscribe to your show, watch your show live, whatever, however they want to digest it. Right.
Thank you. Yes, I was trying to do something a little bit more modern. So as it is a faith-based network where this is recorded, but I wanted it to be something, Christian television has a stigma of its own. And so I wanted it to be something that was modern, that could reach everybody. And if they haven't watched it yet, it's very modern. It's a very modern set. Very pink, but super fun. And I wanted it to be a new tool. I like to say I wanted it to be a fresh face of faith-based motivational television.
I think it's spot on. I had Frank Shelton as a guest on this show not too long ago. And I'd said to him before we went on air, I said, we're going to have viewers, if we push too hard in one direction, they're going to turn it off. And he goes, I said, so we can say what we believe. It's just, we want to keep it real and be human. And I've seen some of your posts. We're friends on Facebook, and, being just like you and me, we got to share problems we deal with every day. And I think right now people are going to watch this and go like, well, she's docking the hat and has got the shows, has written books, and he's over there talking about whatever he's talking about. But, our common humanity and, and pulling more people in. I agree with you 100%. I've been on WATC, Friends and Neighbors, a few times. I've been guests on different shows, and Ryan, is it Ryan Swords?
Yes.
Yeah,
awesome.
He's coming into my In Studio Marketing Matters show, I think next week. And he goes, Ryan, I'm more comfortable behind the scenes. I'm like, man, you'll be fine. You'll be fine. So I'm bringing him on that. But I guess what I'm trying to say is, as we have people, maybe they're in the fringe, maybe they say, hey, I went to church as a kid, that ain't my thing. Mm-hmm. What do we say to them about like what you go through in life, possibly what I might share about, hey, everything in being a human is not all, flowers and roses, it's ups and downs, right? And I think you posted something about that not too long ago.
Yes, I think that ultimately we go through rejections in life. I know that recently this year has really been a year where my husband and I have really experienced a lot of rejection. And people, it's not something I'm not going to post about it all the time because, and I think that's what we don't understand is that most people, when they look like they have it all together, they're going through something very difficult, but the maturity in them is not going to post about that all the time, but they will post about the good stuff. And
Yep.
I think that's where social media is both a great tool, but it can also be so deceptive, where we think everybody has it all together. No one has it all together. I know just recently, not only rejection, but I dealt with a lot of postpartum issues. After having my son, I'm overcoming an eating disorder and so many things that and not only do I face issues like that, but other people face issues and life isn't perfect. And so I know that there are people out there who they may not know that they need faith, but they do need encouragement. And we
Yeah.
can see even now that our society is it's chaotic. Whichever political party you are on, our society as a whole is in a detrimental place.
Yep.
And we need encouragement. It's high tensions, it's uncertainty like never before. It's news that's different all the time. And whether you've gone through something personally, we all just went through a pandemic.
Right.
We're all going through, it seems like, a second wave of the pandemic, and it's really just a total divide. Vaccines, not vaccines, what I believe about this, it's just craziness. We're all going through it. And so I think now more than ever, there need to be messages of hope, because you may not know that you need hope, but we all need hope in hopeless times.
Man, you can't say that any better. In a couple magazines, and from day one, my column was always about, not that it's some Pollyanna thing, but it was like about putting a positive 10 on stuff in terms of, we got enough negative in our world before the pandemic. I mean, everything you read on the news, read anywhere in social media, is sensationalism. And I agree with you, Katlyn, to your point is, I mean, I can't write anything because, I mean, somebody will be like, oh, that means you're Democratic. Oh, that means you're Republican. Oh, that means you're a masker. That means you're an anti-masker. But I'm like, you know what? I'm actually an independent thinker. You probably don't know enough about me. And I wish, but you're right. Social media, I call it the greatest. I love it. I've been on it since 2007 or 8, but it's also the greatest highlight reel of people's lives. Or sometimes the low light reel where somebody's, I need prayers right now, but you don't really get the, hey, I'm making dinner in the kitchen and I just burnt the chili, I mean,
yeah, my son's screaming and I just argued with my husband. You don't get all that.
You don't get, no one, very few people post that. And so for me, one of the types of leadership is that's coming out, it's like called authentic leadership, meaning that you are who you are. And some people are like, well, what does that even mean? That's a developing thing. But, I love owning your style. And, I look at, I don't throw the faith thing out all the time, but I always tell people, by the grace of God, he has a sense of humor, because I mess stuff up every 5 minutes. I mean, seriously. I mean,
Same.
and I just look at it and go, don't make it so complicated. Look at people and go, man, not one of us has all the answers. And
Right.
You were just saying what you've been dealing with. I tell people all the time, and then when you can kind of laugh at yourself a little bit, I think other people look at it and go, oh, okay, well, I do want to know more about them because they're not so perfect. And I hate the word perfect. It's ridiculous. So, the show, bringing on people, hope, encouragement, even without the pandemic, I'm telling you, what do you think, Katlyn? I mean, I don't think we're even going to know for years the outfall of all this, right? I mean, I've been living in ups and downs and stops and starts. I don't think we can get our mind around it,
No, we can't get our mind around it. And so that's why we can't control our world, but we can control ourselves. And that's why personal leadership and self-growth is so important. And also, why the work that I'm helping do with the QUIP and John Maxwell Leadership Foundation, it's also not only speaking at women's conferences, not only leading and doing leadership as a coach, but also making sure that we are putting values into our homes, because we don't know what the future will bring. But if we can lead our homes, if we can lead ourselves, and if we become the best version of ourselves. That's all we can do to prepare for the future. And for me personally, faith is an aspect. It's not for everybody, but faith is an aspect for me. And the verse I hold on to is Philippians 1:6. It says, my citizenship is in heaven. And then there is something bigger than this. There's something going on, but all we can do is embrace each day. Each day is a present. Each day is a gift. And each day there are things that we will never be able to control. And we don't know. We don't know what will happen in the future. We don't know, how many booster shots there are going to be. Like, we just don't know anything. But what we do know is that we have today, and that we can make today the best day for ourselves and for those around us.
Yeah, I used to tell people, the present is a present, and it's a gift.
Yes.
And, even when you and I were scheduling the show, we were a few minutes behind schedule, but I couldn't have looked at that yesterday and told you that. I don't, you can anticipate some things but then you do the best you can do. So I'm going to try to encourage our listeners and audiences as well, as that you do the things you control, the things you can control, and you just never know who you can make a positive impact on.
Right.
It's not about being perfect. It's about, if you're not sure, just do the next right thing. And a lot of times over the years, I don't know about you, Katlyn, I've had people come back years later of something I don't even remember I wrote, did, said, or helped somebody with. They're like, that meant so much to me. And I'm like, what? But to them at that time, that was something huge to them, because they were going through something in their life and it just hit them. And I just think that if we can all be a little bit less judgmental and listen a little more. What do you think about that topic? Quit throwing stones.
Yes, I think that what we need to understand is that we judge ourselves on our best intentions, but we judge other people on a different level. And we really need to begin to give people grace and to understand that there's a story behind where they're acting. I know that for me, growing up, it was always black and white for me. I always say, like, I learned boldness, and it was just, this is how it was. But as I began to get older, I realized that everybody's background wasn't like my background was. It wasn't in a loving family. It wasn't like that. And there are reasons why people act the way they do. And we have to give grace to people. And we have to see there's a lot more gray in the world than there is black and white. And we have to give people the benefit of the doubt and grace. Now, if people are continually toxic to us, and they show continual patterns, we have to, separate and distance ourselves. But there is a lot more grace there, a lot more reason. And the quote that I always hold on to is, hurting people hurt people. And so if there are people that are maybe posting crazy things, or they're being hurtful or saying hateful things, what, they're hurting. And so our first instinct shouldn't be to judge them, but to really reach out, whether it's pray for them or just encourage them, and be a voice and a friend to them. So many people are so lonely now. They're hurting and they're lonely. And so people need more friends. We need to have more grace, and we need to understand that everything's not black and white. There's a lot more gray.
I love it. Right now, there's people that'll be watching and or listening later when it's the video or the podcast, and they're all different ages, but they might be just, their friend is Facebook, and they're watching what everybody's posting, and they feel alone and isolated, and they're watching the show we're doing, and we've said it, but they're going, oh, well, I don't have a show. And I think what we say to those people is, there's people in your life that, reach out to them or let them know. It doesn't have to be a sob story, but just say, hey man, can we get on the phone and talk? Or, and then I'm talking to myself as much as anybody else, carving out time for those people that are important in your life. Because I'm the kind of guy that's like, I'll get it tomorrow. I'll get it. Well, like you just said, there's no guarantee of that. And it's easy to put it on your to-do list. And so I just confessed right here on the show that it's easy to slide it over. I'll get to it tomorrow. But all we got is the present. And it's been a tough 19, 20 months for every human. And how it all look, we might have 85 different shots by the time we're done. But I think, giving grace. Sometimes I like what you said. People post things. And my first thought is, what in the heck are they talking about? But maybe they're coming from a place of hurt, and they want that's their SOS flag.
Right. Exactly. And, I love this statement you said, I keep pushing things down the road. One of my favorite statements of all time that haunts me sometimes at night, but it says, do not leave to tomorrow that which you can finish today. And so we have the incredible opportunity to reach out and encourage. And I think that everybody can they don't even have to call. I mean, I know that calling, I am the person who will ignore a call and then text you back sometimes. Like, that is me. So I get that.
That's all right. We're doing confessionals today.
Right. But we can encourage at least one person a day. And I think that if we go into the mindset of encouraging one person a day, whether that's through text, whether that's through message, but if our mindset is encouragement, I think over time we'll begin to see the better side of people.
Yeah, I love that. Every time I go into like a Lowe's or a gas station, you can see a lot of people, come up, insert card or chip. I'm like, how you doing today? And it's almost like I asked them, which way the earth is turning. And they're like, that's all right. I'm like, well, appreciate you doing it. And just a little kind thing, and being taught to as a human, they smile, assuming they're not wearing a mask, but I think they're smiling. I think they're smiling. But yeah,
that's what you tell yourself.
That's what I tell myself. Yeah, it's a good mulligan and for my bad jokes. But I really do believe with this divide, you're spot on. It's literally almost like a coin flip, whatever side you're on. And my mission, I think yours is, as we got Coach Katlyn with us, is that encouragement. And I'm sure what you learned in all your leadership studies and what you do is leaders, try to bring people together for a common goal and task and to a common vision. And you don't have to agree with everything, but to cause divisiveness and and just pull people apart, that's not anything of any good leadership, because that's not ever needed, but it's really not needed right now. And Correct. To judge people on vaccines, not vaccines, masks, not masks, Democratic, Republican, we can do that for the rest of it, but it's not getting anywhere. People are stuck in their side, and I think we got to reach across the aisle and just listen.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we get a lot more done by listening than we do by talking and sharing our point of view. And I love what John Maxwell says. He says that everything seems right until you hear the other side. Everything seems right to you until you hear the other side. And so we have to have a lot more conversations instead of finger pointing.
Conversations, and that's so key. And and I just really applaud you for, because I know how it goes. You put yourself out there, and you've got, I hate to say it, there's people there, no matter what you say, they want to take a judgment shot. But I want to tell you, I'm a fan of what you're doing, and that's why I saw
Likewise.
Well, thank you. And I saw it, and I was like, you know what? We need more real, genuine people who are passionate about caring for people. And then, giving them even more channels to find your shows and find that. And I believe, like you said, if you bring a good group of people together, good things are going to happen, and we can help more people. And
yes,
I don't have all the answers. I'm sure you don't have all the answers, but we can listen, we can encourage, and we can at least say, hey, you know what? We're lucky to be alive, just in general. Beyond COVID, there's a lot of other things going on in the world.
Right. And giving people hope for the future. Exactly. And I love what you said that. And I love what your show is doing as well.
Thank you.
And the thing is that what we need to do more now is give people hope for the future and help them prepare. And that's what I do as a coach and a speaker, and encouraging people, because we cannot change where we are right now in the world, but we can look forward to a brighter future. And I am just call me an optimist, but I believe that there's always a brighter future. There are people who are living in much worse situations, much worse places, much worse countries, who make each day positive, and they've overcome tremendous circumstances to make a difference, to live out their purpose. And I believe that there's still hope that we can do that regardless if we're vaccinated or unvaccinated, if we wear masks or not masks.
Well, and to your point, Katlyn, there's countries around the world that don't even get the choice to get vaccinated or not, because they don't have it. And we're over here arguing about it. And, we look at how blessed we are in this country, no matter where you come from. And I was going to ask, before I forget, give our listeners and viewers the best ways to connect with you, your website, social media. I'll try to get them on the things, but just before I forget to do that.
Yes, absolutely. I'd love to stay connected with you. You can go to Koach Katlyn. It's KoachKatlyn.com. That's my website. I'm on Instagram and Facebook at Koach Katlyn. You can follow the Koach Katlyn page. You can follow me on Instagram. And then I'm also on YouTube. Subscribe to the Koach Katlyn YouTube channel. That's where each week the Koach Katlyn Show is posted on Thursdays. It premieres every week at 7 p.m. on the Koach Katlyn YouTube channel. And every Wednesday, also, speaking of leadership and growth, a lot of people ask me about daily reading. So every Wednesday, I post a weekly book review on what books you might want to read. And who this book is for. So yeah, let's follow, let's stay connected.
Absolutely. And as we close, was it you that wrote Leaders or Readers?
Yes.
See, I remember things. I scroll across things.
Thank you. He's following everybody.
I paid attention. I didn't look through the stuff, but that's 100% correct. If you look to see my bookshelf right now, it's constantly looking for nuggets and ideas to build. And so I thank you. I'm going to close this out here, but we'll get all your contact information, get it to you, get it out in the public. Want to thank you, Coach Katlyn, for all you do. And thank you for coming on the show.
Well, thank you for all you do. And thanks for having me. It's been an honor to be with you.
Awesome. Thank you. I'm going to close this out. Folks, you've been listening to another Community Connections with Ryan Sauers. Special guest, Coach Katlyn. Make sure you check all her shows out and books, etc. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you again next time.